Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BSW Show Draft. Tonight, our gorgeous, generous, gallantly gregocious general managers will be announcing which of our two shows, Strikezone and Defiance, each of our wrestlers will be competing on. Tonight, we'll be focusing on the singles division as the tag teams are already set, which we will show you now. And first up, will be the man who's been lost in the deep dark black of his own mind, Nikki Savage. Nikki, please tell us who is headed to BSW Defiance.
Oh yeah, Nikki Savage here, making my first pick on my own roster. Did I hear that right? We starting with myself? I like it. So once again, I'm starting with myself because that's who's
okay,
the best.
All right, you can do what you want.
All right, we're gonna, Ric Flair held it down for Strikezone all year. So this year, he's not doing the hard work. I'm going with Ric Flair.
All right, longest reigning BSW World Champion in history is headed to Defiance. Next up, let's get our first pick for Strikezone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Craig Spencer here for the first draft pick for Strikezone. And as we take a look at the roster here, I think I got to go match power for power. Of course, Nikki's roster is pretty dense, so I gotta go with Hulkamania, brother. The Hollywood is coming to Strikezone, brother.
Hollywood Hogan headed over to Strikezone. Is he bringing the NWO with him? Certainly Strikezone has had issues with the NWO in the past, as we all know. Nikki, please, if you would, your next pick.
Yeah, NWO's going over to Strikezone whether he likes it or not. Hulk Hogan, I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust him one bit. All right, pick number 2. Who do we got? Who's gonna fight Ric Flair? I kind of want to just pick the next opponent for Ric Flair in my mind. Here we go. Looking over the list, I'm checking it twice.
All right, you're not Santa Claus. Just make your pick.
Cuba. I'll be Santa Claus this year, 2020. You don't know what's gonna happen. Edge, you're coming to Defiance.
Edge headed to Defiance. He's had his issues with Bullet Club in the past, but it sounds like he's gonna have a problem with Ric Flair to start out with. Please, Strikezone's next pick.
Yes, like you said, that Edge has had his problem with the Bullet Club before, and I'm not too particularly keen on the NWO after they've screwed me since my day one here. So I'm going to draft the leader, or who knows, maybe the supposed leader of said Bullet Club, AJ Styles.
Wow, the leader of the Bullet Club headed to Strikezone. Nikki Savage, please, your next pick.
Interesting. I'm not sad to see him go. Not at all. To be honest with you, I'm gonna go ahead and I want to be a little selfish right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pick. Here we go. I'm thinking Braun Strowman. Throw a little wild card out there. Mecto.
All right. Braun Strowman bringing a little power to Defiance. Can we get Strikezone's next pick?
I know we're picking a lot of heavy hitters, and strength isn't everything. Speed sometimes is key, so that's why my next pick is the Bastard Pac.
Wow, Pac. So that's not one I would have expected. I'm not gonna lie to you there. But certainly, we're looking at the junior heavyweight division of Strikezone. Looking pretty good right now with AJ Styles and Pac. They've won gold all over the world. Nikki Savage, I shudder to ask who your next pick is.
Jake the Snake Roberts ruined my wedding, and he's going to Defiance. Yeah, sorry about that, kitty cat. I scared my cat. I got a little freaked out.
Well, you should be freaked out if Jake is going to do anything like what he did to you last time. But he's headed to Defiance. Could he have an issue with Ric Flair? We'll have to see. Strikezone's next pick, please.
We gotta go with a little bit of the youth movement. We gotta go with Darby Allin. I don't know much about this young man, but I know he's willing to put his body on the line, and that's all that matters.
Famously indifferent to pain is the saying when it comes to Darby Allin. Lone Wolf has his first pick headed to Strike Zone. Nikki Savage, please make this one coherent.
Hey there, this is Scott Silva. I do apologize, but Nikki Savage is screaming off the distance. He's still going off about his wedding,
God.
and I don't know. I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. So I'm going to try to make a couple picks for him. Maybe he'll calm down a little bit. He'll come back. I think it would be an interesting pick. Kenny Omega.
Wow, so we've got the two leaders of the Bullet Club now on separate shows. Very interesting. Who is going to have that problem that is going to come with the Bullet Club? We'll have to find out. Strike Zone's next pick.
Strike Zone's next pick is going to be a former general manager, and I'm glad to see he's finally gotten success somewhere else, and it's going to be The Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
I do like that pick, although there's no telling what he might bring to Strike Zone. Fear and doubt, certainly among it. Scott Silva, thankfully taking over for Nikki Savage. Let's hear Defiance's next pick.
That's right. I'm going to go with King's roster, and I'm going to go with Apollo Crews, who is always the underdog. Every time I see a promo from him, every time I see a match, I want to tune in because I'm always rooting for him. And I feel like that is something that it will be valued.
One of Bullet Club's newest acquisitions. Strike Zone, please. Next pick.
See, Apollo Crews joined the Bullet Club. Can't even really speak for himself. I'm going to stick with King's roster as well. But what's important is he needs to control his narrative. So my next pick is EC3.
I was wondering when EC3 was going to go. Of course, Ethan Carter III famously revealed himself as, I believe, the son of the late Ted DiBiase. ECD3, I believe, is how he goes by now. You best get that right. You don't want a problem with the prophet of broken script wrestling. Scott Silva, please. Defiance's next pick.
We're going with Cody. I didn't have to think about this one. I feel like feel pretty strong about
Easy
this
pick there. Easy pick there. I like that.
The family name goes a long way.
I do like that. Strike Zone, please, for your next pick.
Another quick pick that I don't really need to spend a whole lot of time on and don't really need to say more. I'm going to be drafting the Ring General Volta.
All right, we're going to pretend like you didn't just do that accent. That's what we're going to pretend.
Was there an accent?
The next, I don't know where that accent was from, but I don't want to go there. Defiance, please, for your next pick.
I got a quick pick as well. Ciampa. You know why? Because we spent about 45 minutes in the ring, and that was as intense as it can get. And everyone likes to say, like if you're a musician, my most recent material is the best. Well, to counter that, I want to say that was the best title match. But, that could be arguable. But, damn well, that's a short list. Vader was very, very, very intense. But it doesn't get any crazier than the Ric Flair versus Ciampa from just this very show. So,
that means that the former World Championship challenger will be joining Defiance along with the current World Champion Ric Flair and Bullet Club teammates Apollo Crews and Kenny Omega. Strike Zone for your next pick, please.
We take a look at some of the new blood here in Broken Script Wrestling. Get one of my English words right this week. I will have to go with the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle recently has revealed that he's taken Stephanie McMahon away from Triple H. I don't know if you want that problem, but apparently you do. Defiance, please, for your next pick.
Alright, I haven't picked anyone for Dan yet, so I'm going to go with his roster. Let me look that over real quick and see who is most appealing. Unfortunately, I do not see it. I don't think his roster is on this draft pool. Please correct me if I'm
What
wrong.
Nikki Savage doesn't know is that Damned is a part-timer.
Thanks for the
Plot
the
twist.
correction. You know what? Nikki Savage is still yelling. This is Scott Silva. I'm doing my best. You know what? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and correct myself and pick Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, another Bullet Club member on Defiance. It's starting to get pretty crowded in there. Strike Zone, please. Next pick.
Again, we gotta look to the other side of VSW, and things can get a little crazy. And I know that Bray Wyatt was getting taunted late in season 2 by one individual, or maybe it's perhaps a group of individuals, so I'm gonna go with Doink the Clown.
You're a braver man than I to bring Doink the Clown over
know
to
what?
Strike Zone.
While you're at it, you might as well take Darn.
Alright.
Darn, he's going to go with Doink no matter if you like it or not. So go ahead, you get a 2-in-1 deal. Enjoy it.
That just makes things even worse. I don't want to be anywhere near Strike Zone anytime Strike Zone is filming, that's for sure. Defiance, your next pick, please.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick from the same roster. You know who that's going to be?
I have an idea.
We're going to go ahead and pick Andre.
That was not my idea.
I mean, he did pretty well for himself in the Royal Rumble for the draft order.
I believe he was
Both
the
years.
Iron Man as well as notching the most eliminations in that Rumble. So he's a big reason why Angus's roster is as stacked as it is. Strike Zone, we will take your next pick.
All right, gonna take a look here, and the unproven talent so far, I'm gonna go with Damian Priest.
Certainly unproven, but certainly talented. Both things you said were true. That's more than I can say of the usual stuff that comes out of Nikki Savage's mouth. But thankfully, Scott Silva's still with us. Scott, we'll take Defiance's next pick, please.
All right, you know what? Please give me just one moment because I believe my satellite has been interrupted. So I need to go ahead and pull up it on my phone. I do not have the damn draft pool on my computer. I decided to use internet for now.
This is live television, folks.
I'm gonna pretend not to be pissed off. Here we go. Let's see if I can connect. Hopefully this can be edited because what the fuck?
This can certainly be edited, but will he? That's the real question.
You know what? I will live with my actions. And right now, I'm a little pissed off. Okay, here we go. I gotta learn it again. So all the updates weren't showing up because I didn't realize it for a while. Here, let me get myself a recall.
Well, thankfully we avoided that situation.
Oh, give me a hell yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to Defiance.
Who? I don't know what that impression was of.
I was
but it certainly was not
critiqued
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
on my dialect, so I don't know what the living hell that was.
No, you know what? I'll give it to both sides. I am an impartial
well,
moderator.
Did I say it was perfect? All right, let's hear both of your Stone Colds. Let's see if it's any better than.
Oh, give me a hell yeah.
Well, see,
It won't-
unfortunately, I, as the BSW announcer, am approximately 157 years old, so I can't do a Stone Cold impression.
Fine. Fair enough. Tuba? I'd like to hear your Stone Cold.
and I would like it in the form of your next pick, if you don't mind.
Oh, you're really stretching the odds of imagination here. Now, what are you gonna say here? You're gonna say the next greatest pick in the draft, and it's gonna be. I thought it was Crazy Steve, but it's gonna be Psycho Clown. Give me a hell yeah!
All right, you might have beaten me, but it
I
wasn't
suppose
great.
that was something. Okay, all right, I'll give you mine. Give me a hell yes. Is that close enough? All right, there you go. Defiance, please, for your next pick.
All right, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm back. Here we go. Who do I want to see in the ring? Let's see. I'm gonna go down this list and see if I haven't. You know what? I'm not even gonna think twice. I'm not even gonna think 3 times. I'm going with Finn Balor.
Finn Balor it is. That is the second member of King's roster to be drafted over to Defiance. Now, please, Strike Zone, make your next pick. I don't want to listen to Nicky Savage anymore.
Well, we're going to have to make it 4 out of King's roster because I'll be perfectly honest, he drafted one hell of a roster. And
correct.
Now, the problem with Defiance is that now you're going to have to bask in Strike Zone's glory because I am taking the limitless one, Keith Lee.
All right, that's a fantastic pick. Keith Lee, beloved among wrestling fans, as he should be. And Nicky Savage, please, with your next pick.
Oh yeah, Kevin Nash, big
I
sexy.
saw that coming.
He's coming home to Defiance.
That's one that I figured. Tuba, Strike Zone, take it
You
away.
gotta stick with the click, I suppose. All right. I was not prepared because that was
isn't
way
even
too
part
quick.
Of the click. That's the funny part. He thinks he's part of the click.
I know a lot.
I was not prepared. That was way too quick of a pick. I want to go with an ace, specifically the Irish ace, Jordan Devlin.
Well, all right then. You said ace. I thought someone else, but that's all right. That's okay. I'm still with you. Nicky
That's why I
Savage,
got
please,
two
for
of 'em.
Defiance's next pick.
Hey yo, Scott Hall is coming home, Chico.
You know, something told me that Nicky Savage can't do good impressions, and I was correct. Strike Zone's next pick, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I am not an officiate for Strike Zone, but I'm going to tell you, I'm picking Brock Lesnar.
I'm a fan of Brock Lesnar, so I'm going to let whatever that was slide. Brock Lesnar is bringing the Bullet Club firing squad to Strike Zone, and that might mean that you're getting in good with the head of the Proper 12 locker room, Conor McGregor. Defiance, please, for your next pick.
All right, we're coming in hot with Vince McMahon.
By
Vince
God.
McMahon coming into the ring. Apparently, I don't know what happened. I don't know what Kevin Sullivan did to WWE, but apparently he has taken all of WWE's money, and so 80-year-old Vince McMahon has to step back in the ring just to make ends meet. How sad is that?
Well, Scott Silver here wanted to chime in. We wanted to remind you that in the universe of Broken Script Wrestling, you can pick whatever peak performance your wrestler is. So if he wants 1999 Vince McMahon, he's got it.
Well, no, see, I knew that. I thought 80-year-old Vince McMahon was the peak performance of Vince McMahon. You know, I mean, the genetic jackhammer himself.
Fair enough. You know, I'll shut up.
The size of grapefruits.
That's just okay then. All right, Strike Zone, please, for your next pick. We're about to get an X rating here on this show.
Now, you said that with my last pick, Brock Lesnar, that I was bringing the heavy guns of the Bullet Club. So I'm going to bring some more heavy artillery. I'm taking the Animal Batista.
The Animal Batista. Wow, well, certainly Batista and Brock Lesnar have had issues early on in Season 3, and they will be fighting at our first pay-per-view in a couple weeks. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and they will now be sharing the same locker room. I can't imagine that will turn out very well. Please, Defiance's next pick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with CM Punk.
Well, maybe we'll get a little pipe bomb situation. I don't know if I'd want that possibility brought to my roster. But hey, I don't run a roster, so what do I know? Please, for Strike Zone's next pick.
For my next pick, I got to go with a man I was really, really surprised to win the world title last season. I'm going to go with Nick Aldis.
As soon as you said that, I knew that's who you were talking about. Nick Aldis, maybe the most unexpected world champion that we had in Broken Script Wrestling last year, but he certainly has his eyes set on that prize coming up. I will take Defiance's next pick now.
This comes as no surprise, but 6 Pac is going to
Yep, certainly no
Defiance.
surprise there. The only surprise is you waited this long. Strike Zone, please.
see, I have not gone through Damaged's roster yet, so gotta go with the one, the only Ricochet.
The one and only, some might call him.
Nice pick.
I wouldn't call him that. Some might. Actually, I do call him that. Please, Defiance, next pick.
Johnny Gargano.
All right, 2 in a row from Damaged. I like it. Strike Zone, your next pick.
I have not picked yet from Stein's roster as well, so I'm gonna go with Vader.
Former BSW World Champion, I believe.
Under some scrutiny, but yes.
Well, I wouldn't
Go
take
ahead
that up
and
with him.
Finish off Mecto's roster. My bad for cutting you off, but it will be Loki.
Low key. Quick kick, as some might call him. Again, I wouldn't, but some might. Strike Zone, please.
Let's see, we'll go with the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Not coming with the rest of SCU. Still a phenomenal wrestler in his own right. Headed over to Strike Zone. Defiance, please, for your next pick.
Alright, you know what? We're going to go with Kane.
The Big Red Monster himself. Hopefully no Hell in a Cell matches over on Defiance. Just for the sake of our crew that's been so long actually setting up all of the cells and everything, just to see Kane ripping a door off. Anyway, Strike Zone, go ahead for your next pick, please.
Gonna have to go with the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. Fantastic pick. A psychopath, some might call him. I wouldn't to his face, but I would behind his back. Anyway, please, Defiance, next pick.
Who's next? Goldberg.
That was a decent impression. 2 words, that's all I needed. Strike Zone,
Oh,
please.
wasn't even trying. Wasn't.
Let's see. I was trying to come up with something witty off of 2 words, but oh, wait a minute. I only do need 2 words, and it's Bam Bam for Bam Bam Bigelow.
That was more than 2 words, but I'm not a math major, so what do I know? Defiance, please.
All right, how about a little bit of Scott Steiner?
A little Scott Steiner action. Big Papa Pump, as some call him, as many call him.
Big bad
Well,
blue
you're
guy.
bringing him over to Defiance. Strike Zone, please.
I'll be perfectly honest, if I wasn't so up high on trying to come up with the 2-word segment, I was going to pick Scott Steiner, so now I'm a little PO'd. So,
I heard that happen in the NFL draft one time. That's why Tom Brady slipped to the 6th round. Just no one could actually figure out a pun to do with his name, so he slipped all the way down. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
so under the right circumstances, this superstar, well, no, we're not WWE, the hell with that. This wrestler pulled out a hell of a performance last season, going with the broski Zack Ryder, or Matt Cardona.
Well, he did pull out a few pretty good performances last year, including beating the current Dark Horse champion, Kenny Omega, in a last man standing match. Defiance for your next pick, please.
We are going to go with none other than Kevin Owens.
It is the KO show over on Defiance. And Strike Zone, what kind of show will you have, I wonder?
Kind of show that we're going to have, it's going to be a celebration every day. I believe it's going to be Rusev Day.
Rusev Day headed to Strike Zone. Defiance for your next pick, please.
We're going with Okada.
Wow, he's just ripping them off right here. This is what happens when you don't have Nikki Savage around to mess with things. Anyway, Strike Zone, please.
Man, Scott, you're really missing out on Rivers' roster. I'm really kind of disappointed. So, I'm going to go with the excellence of execution, Bret the Hitman Hart.
A fantastic pick. Will some be calling Strike Zone the real wrestling show? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find out. Defiance, please.
I'll go ahead and go with Bobby Roode, speaking of Rivers' roster.
The glorious Bobby Roode. Strike Zone, please.
I think you just said that Strike Zone is going to be the wrestling show, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a freak show as well. But unfortunately, Scott Steiner's gone, so I'm going to go with Luchasaurus.
Okay. Bit of a non sequitur, but I'm okay with that. Some might call me the master of non sequiturs. No, never mind. Defiance, please.
We're going to go ahead and go with Tony Nese.
Current BSW Cruiserweight Champion. He calls himself the greatest BSW Cruiserweight Champion. That's for you to judge, not me. Strike Zone, please.
Good to go. Let's see, what are my... I know my slots here for everyone's roster are starting to fill up, except for a handful. So we're going to go back to Mecto's roster. Going to go with the Mortal Kombat ripoff Glacier.
A very unique pick, to say the least. Defiance, please, your next pick.
Left. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and go with Shane O'Mac.
Joining his father, Vince, on the Defiance roster. Very interesting pick there. Strike Zone, please.
I have to dip into my own well here. Going to go with Buddy Murphy.
Could we see a matchup between Buddy Murphy and Cruiserweight Champion Tony Nese? No, we can't, because Tony Nese is on Defiance. Defiance, please, for your next pick.
How about Eddie Guerrero?
Well, you can certainly have Eddie Guerrero. And will he have the rest of the LWO with him? Who knows? We'll have to find out. Strike Zone, please.
All right. Let's take a look here at our sheet. Oh boy, slim pickings so far. To go with.
Are we getting to the point where we'll have basically defaulted picks because one person has picked 4?
Indeed, we are getting to the point where we can start calling some picks based on just evening them up. For example, I believe that both Lance Archer and Lance Storm should be headed over to Strike Zone. So we can say that for sure at this point.
I need at least one of them because I got one spot left.
Well, you can have them both. How about that?
Will do.
And now you may also make your next pick.
Gonna go with Brian Cage, the former Impact World Champion.
I am a fan of Brian Cage. Who can stop the path of Cage? I don't know. Well, no one on Defiance, that's for sure. And I will take Defiance's next pick now.
We're going with the chairman of WCW. Maybe he'll be the chairman of BSW as well, LA Park.
Ah, very, very interesting. The LWO continues to file in, finally here. Strike Zone, please, for your next pick.
So my next pick is going to be somebody I got real familiar with Jeff Hardy. He's going to be Jon Moxley.
Certainly a bloody rivalry between those two. Will they lock up again? We'll have to find out. Defiance, please.
We're going to go with Jay White.
The Switchblade. We don't want to talk about what he's been doing lately. I don't know why you'd want him anywhere near your locker room, but that's not for me to judge. Strike Zone, please.
To go with someone who may be better than perfect, going with Curtis Axel.
Someone who might be better than perfect. I'm not going to comment on that. Defiance, you are on the clock. And by the way, you now have, I believe, Ace Austin confirmed for the Defiance roster, so congratulations. Your next pick, please.
Ace Austin, that is for Tuba's roster, correct?
Correct.
All right. I will go ahead and go with Robbie Eagles.
Ah, the Sniper of the Skies. I'm a big fan of his, and I'm sure many of you will be too. Strike Zone, please.
I'm sorry, what was that? Who's got Ace Austin?
Defiance now has Ace Austin.
Okay, because somehow I'm getting the short end of the stick on mine, but that's okay. We'll go back to Chavo's roster here. For the hell of a namesake, we'll go with Chavo Guerrero.
Everyone's a fan of Chavo Guerrero. Defiance, you are on the clock.
All right, I will go with Aleister Black.
The Dutch Destroyer. Fantastic pick, if I do say so myself. Strike Zone, please.
We'll go with, further advancing the Cruiserweight division, we'll go with Kalisto.
Well, this is certainly turning out to be a fantastic Cruiserweight / light heavyweight division here on Strike Zone. I'm excited to see what happens there. Defiance, please. You will get Lone Wolf's top pick, by the way. Dolph Ziggler confirmed for Defiance.
There we go. Mark Henry.
World's strongest man. Need I say more? Well, I will, because I have to introduce Strike Zone's next pick.
We will have to go with Eddie Kingston. Again, individual I don't know a whole lot about, but he improved himself.
I'm sure you will get to know him. You can't hardly stop the man from talking, that's for sure. I will take Defiance's next pick now.
Samoa Joe.
The Samoan submission machine. One of the most dangerous men in the company. Make no mistake. I will be excited to see his progress on Defiance. Strike Zone, please.
It was Super Porky.
Now, you want to talk about someone I don't know that much about, but I identify with the name Super Porky. That speaks to me on a personal level. Defiance, please.
Godfather will be making a home at Defiance.
I don't know if that's the home you want him to make, given what he's been doing with Gold Dust over the last couple days. But you know what? Maybe you'll be able to control him better than Dusty or Gold Dust. Dusty's a different person. How about that?
Out.
Strike Zone. Your next pick.
I'm gonna go with, I don't even know what gimmick he wants to go with. We're gonna go with Seth Rollins.
Well, he's gonna go with some gimmick. I can tell you that. Defiance, please.
Cedric Alexander.
Bolstering the Defiance Cruiserweight roster. I do like that. Strike Zone, please.
The Hangman, Adam Page.
Hangman Page. Nothing more to say about that. That's a great pick. Defiance, you're on the clock. Good pick. Strike Zone.
I gotta go with the former owner of Corbin County, Baron Corbin.
Okay. I'm not sure that's what that means.
Raisin Man.
That's a different person I think you're thinking of. We'll take
I have no idea
Defiance's
at this
next
point.
pick.
Kenta.
A newcomer, I believe, to Broken Script Wrestling. Fantastic.
I believe
Love
so.
to see him. And I believe that means that Ali is headed over to Strike Zone. We have that confirmed as well. That finishes up Street Spirits roster. Please, Strike Zone, I will take your next pick.
Oh, I already typed him in my sheet, but he's the only one that's left. Mortis.
I gotta say, this is not a guy that I know very much about. I'm going to be honest with you. But maybe we'll learn more about him as things progress. I will take Defiance's next pick now.
You're going to go with Negro Navarro. He will tie you up immediately.
I'm not sure that I want that. Strike Zone, please.
I'll have to go with Dark Oz.
Dark Oz. Will he make Strike Zone a scarier place? I don't know.
I've already got the
Defiance,
Fiend.
please.
What more can I go wrong?
Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay, a member of the Empire, the aerial assassin. And he has fought many times Robbie Eagles in the past, so that could be very interesting, as Eagles is also on Defiance. Strike Zone, you have Marty Skrull confirmed. Villain Enterprises brings its leader over to Strike Zone, and I will also take your next pick.
Yeah, we're kind of near the end here, so we'll go with MJF.
One of my personal favorites. I'm sure he wouldn't like me saying that, but I'm going to say it anyway. Lunch Police and MJF headed over to Strike Zone. Defiance.
All right, we're getting close to the point where I don't think I have much of a choice.
Indeed.
But how about Sammy Guevara?
Young talent here in BSW continuing to make its way over to Defiance. I would say that Defiance is set up for the future, but we're going to have another draft next year, so that doesn't really mean much. Strike Zone.
This might be the final pick, right?
Indeed.
Well, my PS4 just shut on me because I have not been on it yet. All right. We're going to go with the late, well, I don't know if I would call him a late bloomer, but somebody who's been kicking things off, getting everybody up on their feet, taking Disco Inferno.
I figured you would go that way. The Fever headed to Strike Zone. Wow, that's going to be very interesting. So, that is the last pick to be made, but there still are people to divide up among the two shows. So, please, Scott Silva, if you would, confirm those picks for us now.
Well, looks like Sami Zayn will be coming to Defiance. That's one I can see right off the bat. Too Cold Scorpio as well.
So both River and King sending a roster member to Defiance.
And Santos Escobar.
Interesting, interesting. Another newcomer to BSW.
Let's see. Stein, I don't have a fourth wrestler for him. Maybe I didn't write it down.
No, you know what? I believe that was my fault. I jumped the gun on that a little bit. So, between Lance Archer and Lance Storm, you may pick one.
I'll go with Lance Storm.
Lance Storm it is for Defiance.
Pocket full of personality is Lance Storm.
Indeed he is.
Lastly, for Tuba to fill out his roster, I do have one opening.
Yeah, I'm a little lost on that as well. I only have 3 picks for my roster.
Well, we have, let me tell you who has not been assigned yet. Kurt Hawkins from Lunch Police, Elias from Angus, Caristico from Lilith, Regal from Nikki Savage himself. Those 4 men have not been assigned yet.
I guess I have no other option but
Looks like
take
Regal will be on Defiance.
Kurt Hawkins and Caristico.
Well, that makes sense to me. Kurt Hawkins and Caristico both headed to Strike Zone, and that leaves Defiance finishing up with Elias and William Regal.
Right, and it looks like Lone Wolf needs a fourth as well.
Did I miss one?
Well, I have Hardy, Matt and Jeff, and then Goldberg as well. I guess I didn't write Ziggler down. I don't remember. Maybe that's because he was a safe pick. I think that's what's causing a little bit of confusion.
Oh, Dolph Ziggler was a safe pick. We have an issue with our draft database. Dolph Ziggler was a safe pick, meaning that Defiance only has one man, I believe, right now from Lone Wolf. Is that correct?
I have the Hardys as a tag. I have Goldberg, and now I chose Ziggler, so that should round out his roster and make it complete. The last one that I need to complete would be Tuba. I only have Edge, Owens, and Ace Austin.
You should also have...
See, because I believe you took the North earlier.
Yes. You should also have the North.
Because I only have 3. I have Devlin, Murphy, and Axel.
Well, we gotta correct that. That means I drafted one too many.
Yeah, and I got to pick back for my own roster, so the irony.
The irony is not lost
How
on
about-
me.
How about, you know what? our moderator can choose for us, because I think that's the way to
That's
go.
fair.
So what you're telling me is I need to pick someone from Tuba's roster to go to Strike Zone.
Exactly. You have Edge, Owens.
This is very interesting to me. This is very interesting. Well, I would like to see the KO show on Strike Zone.
Fair enough. So you will have it.
Excellent.
All right. Well, I think the rest we can figure out between ourselves. I think we did a good job of drafting everybody. It was a good time. Nikki Savage he's just gone. He didn't even say goodnight. So Scott Silva, part of Defiance, I wanted to say thanks for tuning in.
Yes, and I want to say thank you as well. And I am contractually obligated to thank Nikki Savage, but I wouldn't like to. But thank you all for joining us tonight. And Week 1 cards will be posted very, very soon, assuming that you're watching this before the Week 1 cards have been posted. If you're not, hello from the past, and goodbye.